won't with your life. You can walk and you can talk and you can even walk the talk. Few steps at a time. You're not afraid to try, you often cry, and you are full of wondering why. You're full of wonder, full of wonder. And no one ever could declare that deep inside you just don't care where it's leading. Where's it leading you? Living in the moment, ignoring the hours. Everything is relative when you're dancing in the power. The love you feel takes you back to the child, and it's a holiday. Your life's a holiday, and you have everything you wanted in the world when you have love. A lot of things about what childishness brings, but you don't buy it, you don't buy it. And you go here and you go there and you break rules everywhere, you little rascal, you. Living in the moment, ignoring the hours. You love it when you're in it, your little ivory tower. The love you feel takes you back to the child. Jesus said children, they live in heaven. Buddha saw the light when he was 11. Grow up and be the child. Your fathers and mothers, sisters and brothers are children like you are, and they shine like you do. Grow up and be the child, sneaking out the window, backing out the door. You don't need much authority, and you don't know what it's for. The love you feel takes you back to the child, and it's a holiday. Your life's a holiday, and you have everything you wanted in the world today. You'll always be a holiday. Thank you. I'm Winterboy. I skate on the other side of the ice. This is my Christmas show, and every song I do tonight is going to somehow or another relate to my Christmas. This is a song I ever wrote. First one I ever wrote as Winterboy, and I wrote it on Christmas Day 3 years ago. I drive all alone in my car. nobody knows where you are. You can slice through the crosswinds and cut on the inside, and if the road ends, you just keep on driving. Sometimes you can't get too far away from yourself. Hands gripping the wheel, power under my heel. I gobble up the miles and hear my tires sing the great song of asphalt round and round. Hear the great jungle roar, hear my pistons a pumping up and down again. You keep telling me what to think, you keep telling me what to feel, you keep telling me what to do, and you tell me who to be, and you tell me what to believe. But maybe worst of all, you try to do my driving for me. La 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 la. La 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 la. Hey, hey. Hands gripping the wheel, power under my heel. I don't know what is real, and I'm not sure how I feel. Think I'll take a drive or haywire and hear my tires sing the great song of asphalt round and round. Hear the great jungle roar, hear my pistons a pumping up and down. Screaming by on the right, doing 95 to the breakdown lane away from you. Can't tell me what to think, you can't tell me what to feel, you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me who to be, you can't do my driving for me. So now we both compete to see who can get away the fastest. We're caught in a runaway skid with the threat of the crash on the rail. When the rubber meets the road, the emergence brake will fail. I'm running in the red, the speed is in my head. I cannot win this race by going faster. I drive all around in my car. I don't always go fast, but I sure go far. I'd like to thank Surprise Velocity for that really nice introduction. I can't pronounce her elfin name. She's, yeah, go ahead. Applaud for her, too. I still have to figure out how to sneak in drinks on camera. She belongs to a group of storytellers, and I guess, at least for me anymore, that's what Christmas is always about. It's about stories, and it doesn't even think I don't think it matters if stories are true or not. I think the power is in the story itself. And the Christmas story that I was raised with was about a little boy who was born in not very good conditions and how the whole universe took notice of that. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I realized the power that was in that story. I urge everybody to make up their own Christmas story. This is a true story. It's not a very nice story, I suppose. But it's a story nonetheless. It's called Make Me Happy. When I went through puberty, I watched TV and fell in love with Shirley Jones and Laura Partridge in the family tree. I kept a list of all the girls who had smiled at me, and I always dreamed about how happy I could be if I could find a genie or a mermaid who would let me be the child king of all eternity. Oh, that would make me happy. Got engaged to Mary at 18, was in the Army Sea, and I went to Indiana for to live with the parents of my bride-to-be. On Xmas morning I woke up and found her sleeping with her ex on a rope, the only present that she left for me. I drank all the booze that was in the house, and then I ran to the mission, crying Freebird in my mind and wondering why. And what would it take to make me happy? What would it take to make me happy? Need to know what makes me happy. Well, you think I would have learned a thing or two, or gun shy I might be, but then I dove right in to rescue a poor maiden from her matrimony. 7 years with him and a fat shotgun proved too much for me. She said he was abusive, but she couldn't live without him, and she couldn't love a man without a violent streak, a mile wide, and she couldn't explain it, it just always was that way. And she guessed that after all she was happy. After all she was happy. She guessed that she was happy. Kept things cool for a couple of years, then I lost my head and fell in love again, to a woman with 3 daughters and an in-law who she screwed now and again, and his sexy sister who she also screwed now and again. I came home from work and found their cigarettes in the bedroom ashtray. Still she castigated me for being a paranoid, delusional fool. And then her husband came home from a boxing tour of the continent. You better leave the state by Friday if and you want to live. I wanted to live to be happy. I'd like to say that things improved as I got older. I'd like to say that all my fantasies came true through sheer persistence. I'd like to say a lot of things, but the hard truth of the matter is I never found a genie or a mermaid or a fairy queen. I never did become the child king or even sniff eternity. And still I look for love in all of the wrong places. And I guess I always will until I figure out what makes me happy. Figure out what makes me happy. Need to know what makes me happy. Hey, what is the right way to do this when you're on camera? What do you do? Thank you very much. In my home, which was a pretty chaotic place, everybody made a supreme effort around Christmas time to be peaceful. So that meant there was a lot of denial operating at Christmas time. And this is a song about the denial called A River in Egypt. Nothing's changed for a year, and I'm still living here, watching you destroy your life, and I'm running out of time, helping you climb out of these ever deeper holes you dig for you. I thought after a while I could break through the denial, but you say don't go there. It's none of your business now, and it wasn't then. You don't go there. It's my life and I'll destroy it if I wish. What else can I say? It's discouraging to see that I have no effect on you, but I remember the time before you crossed the line that separates yourself from the rest of us. I thought after a while my persistence would break through your denial, but you say don't go there. It's none of your business now, and it wasn't then. You don't go there. If I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. What else can I do? Caught between the loving and believing you. And if I can't change the way that you think, then I'll change what I will do. I'm not trying to guilt trip you. I'm just trying to break through. But you say don't go there. You don't understand the fear. You don't go there. You don't know what it's like in here. And you're ultimatum Thank you. For all of you out in TV land, and if any of you are fans of mine and you're not in this show, please don't take it personally. For the most part, the people in this audience tonight are the 20 people that have had the biggest impact on me in the last year and a half, as I've been trying to become Winterboy. And you all have given me great and powerful gifts of one kind or another. And I also need to know about time. Can somebody cue me on? Thank you. This is a song called A Dream About Me. For the rest of the night, I'm playing nothing but new songs. That last song was a new song, and everything else I'm doing tonight is a new song. So for those of you, and for Leanne, you've never seen me, but you might be watching right now, hi. And for anybody else, it's all new songs from here on out. Except for one cover tune which you'll recognize because you'll be singing along with it. This is called A Dream About Me. So it's about me, and I sing about me in it. See, Winterboy was born on New Year's Eve, 1994, and he was born like this. I fell asleep in the middle of a blizzard, and I started dreaming about a blizzard. And as I was looking out the window in my dream world, blizzard, I saw some little figure scurry on by. He looked like he was in a really big hurry. So I went into the snow, not thinking anything about the cold, or the dark, or the howling wind. And I followed this little creature, and from time to time I'd get close to him and I'd get a glimpse of him, his backside. He was wearing shorts, no shoes, tattered shirt. His hair was whipping around, kind of like that Les Mis kid in the poster. What's your name, Colette? Looked like a little male Colette. And I would shout, hey, 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 can I help you? He would shake his head and keep running away from me in the snow. He was easy to follow because his footprints would glow in the snow. And I followed him for what seemed to be hours. And I never did catch up to him, and I never saw his face. But I woke up the next morning with the word Winterboy in my head, and I wrote that song I played earlier called I Drive All Around. And I still expect to fall asleep one night and dream about catching up to him. That little Winterboy, probably still plodding through that storm somewhere in my mind. It was a burning October and the anniversary of the great and terrible fall of the fleas. The past is the most reliable prophet, she said, as I was feeling the breath from the trees. Seize the day, seize the night, see the moment, see the light, get up off your knees. But the under kid forgets all his happy thoughts and he falls from the sky. Back to sleep, little Winterboy. At midnight we'll start a new day. You can dream you a different dream, maybe one happier than today. There he is in November, digging up a star to set fire to the top of a tree. He said, I've had my whole life to think about this, and I've decided that it wasn't me. And they say Christmas Jesus comes in through the womb, but I'm certain he's ignoring me. And I bent with a glass over the small print of life, and I can tell you, there's no guarantee. Back to sleep, little Winterboy. At midnight we'll start a new day. You can dream you a different dream, maybe one happier than today. up from my self-imposed reality. It's December, I'm remembering all that I've seen. I've been working myself to death for something I already have, and I'm discovering that this isn't me. My dreams are starting without me. I can no longer withstand the cold, and I laid on every deathbed that there ever was, and I'm sick to death of them all. And the underkid remembers his happy thoughts, and he heads for the sky. No more time for sleep, little winter boy. It's the middle of a new sunny day. The time for dreaming has come and gone. You can put the old nightmares away and wake up, little winter boy. Take a breath and open your eyes, full of wonder now, 'cause your life is a birthday surprise. Thank you. I'm going to change the set around a little bit. You can film this if you want. Or you can film him. He's scratching his head over there. It's really cute when you scratch your head. So, yeah, I always want to fall in love at Christmas time, too. And I've really been able to avoid that this year. There was one year I fell in love with this woman named Melanie, girl named Melanie. I was just a kid too. And so she took me dancing to this Christmas dance, and I had never danced in my life. I've always been terrified of dancing up to that point. Still am, I guess. And we got to this dance, and it was packed with people, and everybody was out there dancing, and I stood on the sidelines like kind of bobbing my head like I had some rhythm, and just frozen inside. And she went out and danced with all these different people, and I got madder and madder and madder. I really thought she should stay on the sidelines with me where it was safe. So at some point in the night, she came up to me and grabbed my wrist and hauled me out into the dance floor. And I just stood there, stock still, frozen to the floor. She looked at me and said, "Why won't you dance?" I said, "I don't want to look stupid." She looked around, all these bobbing, gyrating heads and bodies, and looked at me and said, "You look stupid." Later that night, she left with some guy that she met at the dance, and they went skinny dipping, hot tubbing, and that was the end of that Christmas fantasy. And I didn't dance for another 3 years. You're so funny, you're so cool, you look so good in my swimming pool. No, I can't think of anything could keep me away from you. No torture demon in my soul, not the seduction of rock and roll. No, I can't think of anything could keep me away from you. This is my happy song, yeah. This is my snappy song, and when I'm feeling crappy, I just like to sing about you. Doody doody doody, doody doody doody, doody 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 doo, yeah. And when I'm feeling crappy, I just like to sing about you. I'm fascinated by the things you say and the twisted behaviors that you call play. No, I can't think of anything. No tidal wave, no big earthquake, no volcano erupting tilt and shake. No, I can't think of anything could keep me away from you. This is my happy song, yeah. This is my snappy song, and when I'm feeling crappy, I just like to sing about you. Doody doody doody, doody doody doody, doody 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 doo doo. And when I'm feeling crappy, I just like to sing about you. Jet black hair, ivory eyes, ruby lips, and spread eagle thighs. No, I can't think of anything could keep me away from you. Yeah, that song is rated R. It's the first Winterboy song where I actually say something sexual. Can I say sexual on TV? All right, speaking of sexual, this is a song about television, and I wrote this when I was wondering if the X-Files would have a Christmas special. Xmas. Oh, that's so good. Can I use that? Xmas. That really was good. This isn't a pretty song, though. Sitting alone with you here in the year 2000, wondering if anyone we once knew will appear on America's Most Wanted. We used to talk, but that was before Melrose Place. Now I play tiny reruns in my mind. They broadcast. Here I am with my ego in my hand. Push the button. Here I am trying to understand why we sit alone and stare at the cold blue campfire. You used to joke I could pry the remote control from my cold dead fingers while we search through the channels cut into our bedroom by Beverly Hills and cops. And I always thank you for the silence that you gave. But now I play tiny reruns in my mind. They broadcast. Here I am with my memories in my hand. Press the button. I am trying to remember life and remember the real world while we sit alone and stare at the cold blue campfire. It's easier for us to filter the past through the blur of fact and fiction than to take take a risk in the present, consequence unseen. And we wouldn't know nature if we held it in our hands. And now these tiny reruns are X-filing me. Here I am, dropping the remote from my hand. Will you follow? Here I am, trying to stand on my own, while you sit and stare at the cold blue campfire. Why do we sit and stare at the cold blue campfire? What do we see when we sit alone by the cold blue campfire? All right, what time is it? How much time is left in the show? Much? 20 minutes? Jesus, I got more time than I thought. Does time go slower when you're inside of a movie studio? Cool. All right, then I can do 15 more songs. All right, then. Well, good. Okay, I'll do Muddy Water. How's it look on camera? That's cool. Oh, wow, look at the light. Okay. This is what I expect might be my first radio hit. It'll be off the second CD called Cold Blue Campfire. For those of you who don't own one, you really should buy a copy of my first CD, Volcano, and I think I'll play a song from that one next. I brought them here tonight. And for those of you out there in TV land, you can go to any Tower Records, Briggs & Briggs in Cambridge, Newberry Comics, HMV, Sam Goodies, everybody but Strawberries, because they got some bunch of messed up stuff going on in that store. I don't know if I can get sued for that, but you can have my guitar. I have two. What do you think of my new guitar? Jin the Elf got this for me for Christmas. What do you think of that? People got tired of me having to stop the set every time I broke a couple of strings. I said, Alan, why don't you get another guitar? Then you can play and somebody else can fix the strings. Sounds like a good deal. Okay, here's the song. This is the same introduction, you know, as the introduction to the show. Did you catch that? Okay, I'm gonna try to do this song with this hair in my mouth. It's like in my mouth. They told me that's one thing you never do on television. You never talk about having hair in your mouth. Somebody want to come pull this hair out of my mouth? All right, enough of that. I'm a consummate professional. Come on, she's the camera woman saying, get up here, pull that damn hair out of his mouth. Yeah, she's awesome. It's on that side. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Punky Laura. Thank you, Laura. There was this office girl and they call her Saucy Sadie. She can't get promoted. She thinks it's 'cause she's a woman, but it's 'cause she drinks too much. And she's a woman. And She's been busting her ass for a boss who's unavailable, but he keeps the paychecks running, and he doesn't stop her dreaming. Down, down, she sinks into the golden tumbler. Says it seems like I'm looking up at life from the bottom of a river full of muddy water. She says it seems like I'm looking up at my life from the bottom of a river full of muddy water. Virgil was a Virgo with a secret, he's a virgin, and he's got the hots for Sadie, but he won't take yes for an answer. Down, down her shirt, he'd rather steal with gray eye glances. And he is tired of his life, and he just left his second wife, and he can't scratch it where it itches, and his heart is ruled by Venus all night, while Sadie's working on her second bottle. And he says it seems like I'm looking up at her from the bottom of a river full of muddy water. Yeah, it always seems like I'm looking up at her from the bottom of a river full of muddy water. Maury was a millionaire. In Microsoft and malls he dabbled, had a gift for deciding quickly, and was sure in all his business downtown. The king of finance ruled his ivory tower. Watching people milling down below, here's Sadie rushing to get home with Virgil secretly behind. Not sure what he'd do if he ever caught her. Maury muttering to himself, surely I have more than I ever need, but still I envy all those people, their simplicity. What I wouldn't give to live the simple lives they lead. But it always seems like I'm looking down at them from the surface of a river full of muddy water. It always seems like I'm looking down at them from the surface of a river full of muddy water. Light years away, God sits and ponders every day. I was so sure of what I knew when I began all this last Sunday. Or was it maybe 5 billion years ago? Nowadays it seems like I'm looking up at myself from the bottom of a river full of muddy water. Nowadays it seems like I'm looking up at myself from the bottom of a river full of muddy water. And God said, it seems like I'm looking up at myself from the bottom of a river full of muddy water. Full of muddy water, looking up at myself. Thank you very much. All right, so there must be, what, like 10 minutes left? Is that right? Okay.
14.
I'll be back. Yes. How many years have people been setting Christmas trees up in their homes? Who knows? Come on, anybody who can answer that gets a free CD. How many years? Let me make this a little easier. The revolution? The revolution of what? Who did? Wow, he's right. That man gets a free CD. Well, that is, as far as we know, he's right. Somebody else could have a totally different reality and we wouldn't even. But that's the story I heard. Okay, I'm making some adjustments here. How many people know what Christmas used to be before the early church made it into a so-called Christian holiday?
Winter solstice.
Yeah, that's good.
Saturnalia.
Yes, Saturnalia. That's good. It's the birth of the sun god. That's the day at which days begin getting longer again. Meaning that's the day the sun is born. Get it? Get it? Speaking of sun, this is a song called Tide. Dead air. That's another thing you always avoid in television, right? Okay. Recently, I got very sick with laryngitis and some other things, and while I was sick, I wrote 7 new songs, most of which you've heard tonight. And this is the last one, and as soon as I was done writing the song, I was finished. Inside every atom, there's an ocean. At least inside the atoms inside me, that might explain why I'm always in motion. I'm made up of several trillion tiny seeds. Around each miniature atom there's a small moon, pulling tides around the sun. Might be why my behaviors are so circular. I always seem to end long before I've begun. And I was always trying to find some way to control this tide of emotion inside of me. But at the subatomic level, my love's as big as the deep green sea. Deeper the sea, blacker the water, the more the danger close to Neptune's door. It might explain my drowning indecision that always leaves me shipwrecked on this tiny shore. And I was always trying to find some way to control this tide of emotion inside of me. But at the subatomic level, my love's as big as the deep green. I stand here on the shore, searching the horizon for you, till where I pushed you out to sea, out of the ebb and flow of my life. But if I'm lucky and try real hard and sing this siren song real loud, I may bring the tide back to me, and maybe you'll return riding the atoms of the deep green sea. Inside each of my atoms there is you, love. To know where I end and where you begin must be why I feel so lost at sea without you. But now I see the tide is rolling back again. And I no longer can deny this core of love that's deep inside. It's deeper than I can see. And I no longer can ignore this tide of love, this ocean roaring, pushing and pulling over me. 'Cause at the subatomic level, my love's as big as the high tide on the deep green sea. How much time we have left? 5 minutes? Okay, that's the end of that song. All right, so I wrote a prayer. And it's a prayer to the God that I worship now and the God that I think of at Christmas time. It's my own personal God. And I'm going to go from that right into Silent Night. And I would like us to all end with Silent Night. Mother the earth and Father the sky, smile on us, your children, love and comfort when we cry. According to your wisdom, peel back our disguises. We're reaching out to you. Teach us the wisdom you hid in every tree, in the land and wind and water, the stars and their geometry. Teach us to always interact respectfully. We're reaching out to you. Give us the strength to fight our greatest enemies, whose faces in the mirror frown back with such hostility. We really need you in our struggle to be free, and we're reaching out to you. We're reaching out to you. We're reaching out. Darker in here? Holy night. Probably not. All is calm. All is bright. Round your virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender. Do it again, sing louder. to it. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round your virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild. Come on up. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly silent night. Oh, come on up. Somebody else, come up here.